Hey everyone, today I wanted to go through my Letterboxd and talk about everything that I watched in the month of April because I think this month I had some pretty great first watches and rewatches. So let's start out with the first of the month when I rewatched Re-Animator. I think this movie's so funny and it's just kind of like a classic splatter movie and hilarious throughout. Jeffrey Combs is really good, Barbara Crampton is really good, and Bruce Abbott plays a great straight man to Jeffrey Combs. So overall, I just think it's a really enjoyable movie and just a classic. And then next, since it was April Fool's Day, I watched April Fools from 2007, which is the only credit for Nancy Norman. This movie was really fun and funny. I enjoyed it. It's very much in the vein of I Know What You Did Last Summer. You can tell that they're kind of ripping off I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a really enjoyable movie. I definitely recommend it, and I think I'm going to rewatch it next April Fool's and possibly make an entire video about it, or make a video that is just about different movies that you should watch close to April Fool's Day. But yeah, that one's really fun and funny, and I recommend it. And then next, after I watched that one, then I started April Fool's Day from 2008. This one is also like a fun, trashy teen horror slasher. So if you like those types of things and horror movies in that subgenre from this time period, I definitely recommend this one. And then after that, I rewatched Saw for school. This one is just a classic, just really enjoyable, and I love watching it. I love Lee Winnell's performance. He's so funny. Carrie Elwes also gives a great performance, and just the things that I love about this movie are the vibes, the settings, the like disturbing traps, and how it's just kind of a cozy police procedural at times. It's just really enjoyable. The gross, grimy setting of the bathroom, the early 2000s filmmaking, just the look of it, and especially the iconic editing. So yeah, really enjoy this one. Okay, next is the drama, directed by Christopher Borgli. And Christopher Borgli, he actually made one of my favorite movies of 2023, Dream Scenario. If you haven't seen that one, I really recommend it. It's really interesting. The editing and the surrealist scenes are really good in Dream Scenario, and those aspects, the editing and surrealist scenes, are another thing that I really enjoyed in the drama, as well as Zendaya and Robert Pattinson's performances. I thought they were both really good. And I have to shout out the cameo performances from Zoe Winters as the wedding photographer and Jeremy Levick as the wedding DJ. They were both really, really funny. Some of the funniest moments in the movie. Yeah, overall it was a lot funnier than I was actually expecting, so it was really a fun theater experience to just be laughing, and I also really enjoyed the story of this one. So overall, I would recommend it. Okay, and then on Easter, I watched Beaster Day, Here Comes Peter Cottonhell. This one was a really fun movie. The 1.8 kind of surprises me. I guess, you know, it's a bad movie according to some people, but for me, it's fun. And I definitely want to rewatch it next Easter. If I was to make an Easter horror video, it would definitely go on there, and I definitely recommend it. It's just enjoyable to me. There's a rabbit monster puppet for the ages, and there's definitely some fun line deliveries in there too. So I definitely recommend it and think it's fun. Next, I watched Melancholia. This was a rewatch, directed by Lars von Trier. This movie is so beautiful. Something that I like about it is Lars von Trier in his movies, he does these kinds of slow motion painting looking scenes where the characters are just kind of in this setting and moving in slow motion, and it looks so gorgeous and interesting. And besides that, I really enjoy the characters in this movie, played by Kirsten Dunst and Charlotte Gainsbourg in particular, but all of the performances are good. The movie is a little slow, but I think that definitely works in tandem with the subject matter of it. So I recommend it, even though some people may think that it's too slow. Okay, next is The Piano Teacher. This movie is amazing. It's bracing, it's well paced, and Isabelle Huppert, she is amazing. My eyes were just glued to the screen watching this and seeing how the story was unfolding. It was just so interesting and so good. And the other movies that I've seen by Michael Haneke are the Funny Games movies and Cache. So let me know which other ones I should seek out next. And then next I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula for school. This one is by Francis Ford Coppola. And I really like this movie. I just think it's beautiful and thematically interesting. I really like the artistic elements of it, like the editing, and some of the craft, like the shadow puppets. I just think that the combination of like the editing and cinematography just make this really rich to look at. And so yeah, I really enjoy this one. And I also really like Gary Oldman's performance, and Keanu Reeves is always fun to see. Then I also watched Secretary. This one I really enjoy, and it has some amazing performances by Maggie Gyllenhaal and James Spader. I really enjoy the look of it, being from 2002. It just has that 2002 visual quality that's so beautiful, and I really love the story as well. Then staying in the early 2000s, for school, we watched Shattered Glass. This one was pretty fun. You know, it's a fun story. It kind of, as a movie, is a little silly. Hayden Christensen's performance is a little silly, but I think that makes it enjoyable as a movie, and you know how dramatic the story is and everything. I think it's a fun watch and a fun ride to go along with. And then another 2002 movie like Secretary. I just love the look of these early 2000s movies, and the film quality and the stylish elements of them. They just feel so stylish. And this one features a great Angela Bettis performance. This story of this movie is so engaging, and to me it's so meaningful. I just really enjoy this movie. And then after that I watched Pizza Movie, which I thought was pretty good and fun. I enjoyed it. It stars Gaten Matarazzo and Sean Giambrone and Lulu Wilson. And it seems that it is these directors' feature debut. One thing that I liked about it, especially during the climax, is it kind of reminded me of low-budget horror movies at a point. And I think that you can really tell that these directors are passionate about what they're making. So I really appreciated that about it. And I thought it would be funny to watch Salò after watching Pizza Movie. So yeah, so I watched Salò, or the 120 Days of Sodom. And you know, I really went into this as purposely doing something that I knew would upset me, and it did upset me. I think though that this is definitely a movie that if you're interested in disturbing movies, you just have to watch it to know. It was a good movie in my opinion, but upsetting, of course. And then I wanted to keep watching things that I knew would upset me, so I watched Irréversible after that, and I thought this was a good movie. It definitely has some problematic elements, but I think that some of those problematic elements are explained by the fact that Vincent Cassel's character is not supposed to be a good person. All of the men surrounding Monica Bellucci's character are not good people, and I think that could be interpreted as purposeful in the text, but still definitely has some problematic elements about it. Now, in the most disturbing scene, I feel that in those types of scenes, I always am looking at what the gaze is and what I feel the director is trying to communicate with it. And to me, the gaze of this scene did not feel off base in this one. I felt that it was effective in what it wanted to do of upsetting you and trapping you in this situation. And one other thing I wanted to point out is I really liked some of the use of color at the end and the look toward the end. So yes, an upsetting movie, but I think aspects of it are good. Then next I saw The President's Cake. This movie I didn't find to be that compelling, but other people seem to like it more, so maybe you would like it, but me personally, it just didn't work super well for me. Then I rewatched Saw for school, and then after that I wanted to watch Hostel because that was talked about in some of the readings that I did about Saw. And I really enjoyed Hostel. I think that this one is again just an interesting story and an entertaining one to watch. It has some layers to it, and I think that this one is more than meets the eye. Then I rewatched The Human Centipede. This is just, a guy just wants to do some science, and his subjects don't want to let him cook. To be honest, I think that this is a pretty fun one and kind of interesting. Next, I wanted to watch another Eli Roth movie since I had watched Hostel, so I checked out Cabin Fever. This one I think is really fun also. It just has really good pacing, gross scenes. I think both Cabin Fever and Hostel have interesting groups of characters. I think Eli Roth is good at thinking of interesting characters that are fun to watch on screen in the contexts of horror. So yeah, if you haven't seen Cabin Fever, I would definitely recommend it if you want something gross in the woods. Then I also rewatched Martyrs. I really love how this movie looks as well. It's kind of stark and almost at times abrasive with its brightness, but then it also has scenes of darkness as well. I think the performances are really good, and the filmmaking and setting really reflects what the characters are going through and the performances are conveying. The cinematography and the editing in this movie are amazing. Honestly, some of the best cinematography and editing I've seen in any movie. And I think that this movie is very thematically meaningful. And so for those reasons, I think it's amazing. And I definitely recommend it. Then I watched Miroirs No. 3. This one was different than I expected. I went into this kind of thinking it was going to be one of those contemplations in the European countryside type of movies, if you've ever seen a movie like that. And this one ended up being something that was really interestingly laced together. It was really engaging to watch the story of this one unfold, and I would definitely recommend this one. It's one of the best movies I've seen in theaters so far this year, and one of the best movies of the year so far. And then for school, I watched It Follows. This one is pretty good. It has a lot of good aspects in it. The review that I wrote pretty much says my thoughts of I can see a lot of good stuff in this and a lot of scary stuff in this, but some parts of it just feel silly, and I think some of that silliness is on purpose, but it doesn't always work for me. So that's what keeps me back from absolutely loving the movie and saying that it's amazing, but it's good. I still need to see David Robert Mitchell's movie Under the Silver Lake, and I hope that his next movie, The End of Oak Street, coming out later this year, is good. But yeah, I think It Follows has some interesting stuff in the text of it, and Micah Monroe gives a really good performance too. Then I watched Black Devil Doll from Hell, which is a very low-budget exploitation puppet horror film with some unexpected developments. I think that this movie was pretty fun. It's directed by Chester Novel Turner, who I've seen his other movie, Tales from the Quaded Zone, and that one was also fun. But yeah, basically, I recommend Black Devil Doll from Hell if you want to see a low-budget puppet horror movie. I think that some of the times with the puppet moving around, the effects that they had there were pretty impressive. I think they were creative with how they accomplished some of these effects, and those aspects and the puppeteering were pretty well done. So this was an enjoyable movie. Then, without thinking about it and without meaning to, 4 days later I watched a movie that also had the word devil in the title, The Devil Wears Prada, in preparation to go see the second one in theaters. And this movie was pretty enjoyable. I liked it better than the first time I watched it. This time I really was able to get on board with it, and I think that it's just a classic and it's pretty fun. And then lastly, to close out April, I watched The Lorax because I felt like it, and I think it's a good movie. And you should also watch it because it's good. And if you don't like it, you hate the environment. So yeah, those are all the films that I watched in April this year. Leave a comment if you've seen them and what you think of them. And I also wanted to show you all a list of movies from this year that I haven't been able to see yet. And you guys can comment if you've seen them and which ones you recommend that I should prioritize. Sadly, in April, I wasn't able to make it to the theater very often, so I missed a good amount of stuff that I wanted to see. And while I'm here, these are the horror movies that I didn't see last year. So if any of these pop out to you as something that you think I should definitely watch, leave a comment with that as well. So yeah, comment what you think of the movies that I watched in April, and also a recommendation for what I missed in 2026 or that I missed in 2025. You can follow me on Letterboxd for some hard-hitting reviews like this or this, and also follow me on Instagram. Subscribe and give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!